As of the morning I was filming this video, I found out some bad news. What gets me is this video is of living with the Great Pyrenees. But before we get to the video, I want everyone to know, cherish every moment with the animals we love, we grow up with. They are precious in our lives. They're very special moments. So while filming this video, I found out that my aunt and uncle's dog of 16 years had passed away. That is a very long time for a dog to live. After struggling a little bit with a few things, having some tumors and stuff, but he seemed happy the last week when I saw him. All we can do is remember the good times and keep them living within us. Rambo, I know you crossed that rainbow bridge, but I also know you're happy running with all the other animals that have passed. And it was fun getting to know you while you were here on this earth.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun.
So welcome to the Valdez family homestead, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I just wanted to make a video talking about these beautiful, wonderful, goofy dogs called Great Pyrenees. So I can't speak much for the guardian side. Currently where we live, we don't have like any goats or any type of livestock that this fella can be guarding right now. I'm hoping in the future, in the very near future, that he will have that role in guarding livestock. These dogs are wonderful. They are a handful, which is why, as you can see here, he's an attention hog as well. He just wants all the attention. I just wanted to make a video speaking on if one of these dogs is good for you, what to expect owning one of these Great Pyrenees. They're beautiful dogs. I want to give you some upsides, some downsides, because even though if you have like tons of allergies, you might not want one of these dogs because they are a huge shedder. When you're getting out of your summer months, going into winter, these dogs shed very heavily to get that winter coat to prepare them for the cold. So if you don't want a dog with shedding, then I suggest you look elsewhere because they are huge shedders. You want to keep them groomed. You know, brush them as much as possible to keep the shedding to a minimum. And that's gonna bring me to my next point there. One thing about these dogs is they use their voice to scare away any predators or any threats that they feel is amongst their family. And so that in a way makes them good, but depending on what area you're living in, because if you live in the suburbs or you're really close by with other neighbors, or you live in an apartment, they're going to be constantly barking, especially if you are going to work and you have to leave this guy at home alone. The barking, and I mean the barking. these dogs bark at absolutely everything. I mean, there can be a leaf falling a mile away, and it doesn't just have to be if you're in danger. I don't believe a leaf falling a mile away is putting anyone in danger on our homestead. But this guy will bark at absolutely everything. And he's a tough guy, right? He's a really tough guy until it's garbage day and the garbage man is heard. Yeah, he doesn't want to be near the garbage man. Getting back to another negative, because I want to get all the negatives before we get to the positives. Because if you're wanting to know what the day in the life of living with these guys are, you're going to want to know the negatives. Because I hate to say it, but a lot of these dogs, there's even rescues for Great Pyrenees, they end up in these rescues or in the pound or on the streets because people don't know what they're getting into when they get one of these dogs, and they just jump it. They jump the gun and they see a cute puppy at first, but they don't realize how big these dogs can get. So they grow all the way up until 2 years old. So Apollo here is about 1 year and 4 months. So he's still got about 6 months to grow, and he's already a pretty big guy. He weighs roughly about 90 pounds. The biggest these dogs get is they can weigh anywhere from that mark, especially the males, all the way up to like 120 pounds. These dogs are very food aggressive, so if you have kids or if you have other animals, you just want to be careful because he gives a warning sign. So what he'll do is he'll give you a warning bark and then he'll barely snap. A way you can train a dog is if when you feed them, you can pet them as you're feeding them in your hand. I don't suggest it with the Great Pyrenees, especially if they're showing lots of signs of food aggression. It's funny. He will be one moment when he has his food, he'll be very food aggressive, and once he's done with that food, he'll be back to his normal goofy self of the Apollo he is. Another thing to look out for, as any other dog, is puppies are going to chew, especially when they're going through their teething phase, but these dogs tend to chew up more stuff. I mean, a ton more, and I've had a plethora of different breeds and dogs, and this guy is still going through his puppy phase even though he's like 16 months. I don't know if this can qualify as a con, but Apollo is super lazy. The dude likes to lay there all day if he's inside, which he's gotten more accustomed of being inside than outside. They love to sleep and sleep and sleep, and oh, please do not disturb them while they are sleeping. We've gotten most of the cons out of the way. Let's just get to the good stuff, because these animals are amazing to own. They are an experience, they're fun, they make your family laugh, they have all this energy. So we didn't plan on Apollo having any kids. We don't plan on breeding our dogs. Normally we'll get our dogs and we'll neuter them because it's better for them. Let's just say Apollo was more chill before we got him neutered. He was on the level like, okay, we're gonna need to get him neutered right away so he can calm down a little bit. Let's just say after neutering Apollo, it gave him a boost in his energy. It's like, oh my goodness, his testosterone levels took off. The dude has more energy now. The dude is crazier. He's running around. He's doing crazy stuff. He's tearing up things. yeah, neutering Apollo did not calm him down. And maybe this is just a dog by dog basis thing, but Apollo, it had the opposite effect on him. Let's just say you're giving a kid Benadryl and it's supposed to calm him down. Well, at least that's what they used to say. Benadryl would calm down your kid because it would make him have the sleepy effect. Well, some kids that would have that other effect where it would do quite the opposite. Think of that as Apollo. We neutered Apollo. We got an even more hyper Apollo. But all jokes aside, Apollo is a great dog. These are great family-friendly dogs. They love your kids. Now, depending on what age of kids you have, you know, if you have like 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 5-year-olds, you might want to be a little bit careful because these dogs do not know their own strength. Not to say they're doing it on purpose, but they will tumble over your child and possibly give them a little scrapes and bruises and make them cry. But if you have a son that's anywhere from the ages 10 and above, these dogs, when they like to get rough, they get rough. And of course, a 11-year-old boy is just gonna be just as rough, and the dog's gonna enjoy having a blast with them, rolling around in the yard. Going at it with each other. So in that case, great family friendly dog, very enjoyable. Actually, you know what? I had to stop. When I started this video, I was on the chair. I just have to bring this up again. Remember, I said the shedding. I actually had to stop this video mid-film because when Apollo was next to me, I was full of hairs and I cannot stand it. So please keep a lint roller or something. Another thing, look, you see this? The girls behind me are being louder than Apollo right now. I'm surprised Apollo has not barked during the filming of this video, because Apollo will bark at anything, as stated. The girls are being louder right now. These dogs are going to protect your family. I have no doubt that if it comes down to it, also depending on how you raise them. Because a lot of these farm dogs, these guardian dogs, live with the other farm animals. In this case, Apollo doesn't have that. So we have the chickens, and he's really good with the chickens. He grew up with the chickens. When we first got our chickens, Apollo was a puppy. We always kept the chickens around him, and he has been nothing but good to them. If you are going to utilize your guardian dog for that, let them live out in nature and be around these farm animals so they know that is their family and that's what they need to be protecting. But the only thing I have to worry about Apollo, because he is so playful, he tends to sometimes stumble across the chickens. It's happened more than once here on the homestead where I let him roam and he's going crazy, and the chickens better get out of his way or they're gonna be trampled on. So, but other than that, Apollo is awesome with our chickens, and hopefully in the future, our other farm animals. One other point I would like to bring up is they can be very stubborn dogs. They have a mind of their own. You got to think these dogs were bred to be out on their own, guarding the animals, guarding the sheep, guarding their goats. So they were bred to be out on their own. These dogs have no limit. They basically do what they want when they want. So that is just a trait, unfortunately, that they've picked up across the breed. So I have not seen any one person that says that they do not have a stubborn Great Pyrenees. That's just something that cannot be broken with this breed. Apollo, no matter how many times we have tried to take him out on walks, when he's done, he's done. Or when he doesn't want to move from a spot, he's not going to move. It's on Apollo's time, when and where he wants it done. So another thing about Great Pyrenees, they have nocturnal habits. I haven't experienced it that much with Apollo. He seems to sleep through the night. Every once in a while he'll hear something that'll wake him and he'll start barking. Normally he'll sleep great through the night. But you got to think, these dogs, what they do is they sleep a lot of the day, and then they guard their flock, their farm animals at night. So they tend to sleep a little bit more during the day and stay on guard at night. Just take that into account as well. You might get a Great Pyrenees that likes to stay up during the night and barking at all hours. That is another thing. Thankfully, we haven't had to deal with that much with Apollo. He sleeps, like I said, pretty great through the night. Now, here's one that you might not know, but these Great Pyrenees don't need as much exercise as you would think, being such a big dog, because big dogs usually need quite a bit of exercise, especially to keep them healthy. But normally you'll see these dogs laying with their flocks, laying with their farm animals, keeping them safe, and they'll find a shady tree and just guard all the animals, their family. So they really don't need that much exercise. They're pretty laid back and chill dogs. So that is another interesting thing about these Great Pyrenees. So if you end up getting one of these dogs, you definitely will not be disappointed. Just know the perks that come with owning one of these dogs, and you just have to be patient. Just like any other dog, you have to train them on certain things, even though it may be a little bit harder to do that because they are so stubborn. But until the next one, it's starting to rain here on the homestead. Hope you enjoyed, and if you get a Great Pyrenees, good luck, because you're gonna need it. Until the next one, see you guys later.